Hello. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Let's give it just a minute here while some people can come in. It's Monday morning, too, so I realized that probably won't be a large population of people able to tune in live for this one, but we'll get into that here shortly. Let me just kind of make sure that everything's all set up here. That's there. You can see that. All right. Hey, guys. Lin Tang, hello. All right. Oh, where are you? Okay. Oh, no. What's going on, guys? Just remembering that I forgot to take a picture of our tadpoles this morning. Nuts. Meant to do that before leaving the house. So one interesting thing that happened over the weekend was Saturday morning. So we had this like inflatable pool in the backyard that our kids were playing in like over the summer, but they hadn't swam in it in like 2 weeks or something like that, and so like the water was getting kind of gross. And then Saturday morning I saw a frog out in the pool. So I'm like, oh, there's a frog out there. And we went out, and actually it was two frogs on top of each other, and they were mating and laying a bunch of eggs in the pool. So that was cool, like for me too, and like for my kids to see. So my kids got to see frogs laying eggs, which was awesome. So, but then we thought, oh, you kind of need to clean the pool and take the eggs out of there. So I gathered up as many of the eggs as I could. There's like hundreds of them, and I got most of them, I think. So most of them are all right. So I gathered them all up into like this big plastic bowl, water in there just to try to help keep them alive. This is after the frogs had all left already then too. So yeah, got the eggs out, cleaned the pool out, and then so the past couple days, then since Saturday morning, we've just been watching the eggs, and it's crazy how just even within like a day, they went from just little black dots, and then like even one day later, Sunday morning, we went out and checked, and they were already kind of like starting to take the shape of tadpoles and like starting to wiggle a little bit. And now this morning, they're like a little bit longer, a little bit more just like tiny little tadpoles now, and they're like kind of swimming around all over the place in this little bowl. There's hundreds of them, so it's pretty crazy. I think once they actually start to get a little bit more grown, I'm gonna have to take them and dump them in the pond. But at least for now, it's cool, like for my kids to be able to see every day, like how much they're growing. It's pretty awesome. So that was our weekend fun. Hello, everyone. Hello, Noelle, my lady. A big Noelle fan here. Myself. Why would you eat frogs? We're not gonna eat them. Paolo said, hi, Zach. It's been a while since I got to watch your live building. Well, I'm not building that much stuff live these days. Sorry to say. I do want to try to build more stuff live for you guys, but it's very hectic still. So happy to see you're starting with what seems to be the Lfrith. Yep. So the Lfrith is first in the line, so I figure we'll build that one first. Now name them after mobile suits, I'm guessing is what you're saying there. Name all the frogs. Oh my god, no, like there's no joke, hundreds of them in this bowl. So the New Age Retro Nerd, hello. The V Gray, hello. Hoot, how did you get the kits so early? Yeah, so I should also mention about that, and I'll mention that because I'm sure people will be asking. I'll mention about that a few times throughout the stream, but yeah, I got the kits because mine came direct from Japan, just for me to build and review and share with you guys. But obviously, we've not gotten the kits here like as a company at USA Gundam Store. So like, if you go on the site, if you already pre-ordered like through USA Gundam Store, and you're wondering like, how come Zach got his, but where's my pre-order notification? We haven't got them actually in here to the store yet. So like the actual shipment of them will be coming later once they arrive over from Japan and everything like in bulk. For the store. So just to clear that up, that they're coming for here. But yeah, I got mine at the moment just because they just came direct from Japan. New Age Retro Nerd, is Gundam really that fun though? Yes. I love it. I mean, yeah, I can understand how it might be getting a little bit boring for some people, especially with the current banner being Yoimiya. I tried pulling for Yoimiya the first time around and didn't get her. And even at that time, it was not like I really liked her character design, but I was not really that interested in her, just because I typically don't really like using bow users all that much, even though that has been changing more recently, especially with characters like Yelan and Kudosara. I really like them a lot. But anyway, so with this current banner, though, I'm definitely skipping Yoimiya and just saving up for 3.0. So for the new characters that are coming with Sumeru. So yeah, currently without too much of an exciting event going on, the Golden Apple Archipelago is basically wrapped up for me. I still want to go around. I've done like all the quests and everything for that area, but I still, before that it disappears, I want to go, and there's still, I'm sure, a handful of chests and just different like things to find basically. But other than that, I'm basically done with that. So yeah, currently, I will admit, like for this current like 2-week period of time, a little bit boring, but it's just because I'm just kind of just preparing for 3.0 Sumeru. Genshin is pretty fun. Just don't open Twitter. I don't know. Yeah, I see a lot of interesting fan art on Twitter. In my Discord, in my Patreon Discord, we have a Genshin channel, and it's mostly just sharing fan art in there, and then like some discussion as well. But it's a lot of just sharing fan art, which is awesome. It's all like safe for work though, or like sometimes borderline not safe for work, but it's all safe for work. Abner said, I ignore 5-star characters. I only want to hang out with Lisa. Fair enough. Haven't played with Lisa basically since the early game. All right, guys, let's get into talk. We'll keep chatting about stuff, and you guys can ask questions. I'll try to pick that out in the chat. If you do have questions, though, in the chat, if you want, you can put your questions in all caps. That way it makes it easier for me to see in the chat there. So long as you're not like spamming with all caps in there and like bothering other people, that's fine. So you can use all caps if you want, just to try to get my attention. But yeah, I'll try to be chatting with you guys, answering questions. But we also have a couple of very cool kits here to build. And I'm going to just follow the manual here on these. Typically when I'm just building by myself and not doing a live stream, I usually like to build the torso first, but build the head first according to the manual. And it does have a number of stickers. One thing that is really cool about this manual, let me try to zoom in here, show you guys that. Hey, you can see here. Also, let me do that. That. Okay. Here for like the head section, it shows you which runners you need, and also shows you what color they are. So like the A runner, you need that, which is a multicolor runner. The B1 runner, which is like a lavender color, and the D runner. So that's really cool. That's just on the first page, which is in color. The other pages, which are not in full color, like here, for example, the runners won't be in color, but at least it tells you what runners you need just for that specific part, which is convenient. Pretty cool. Yongma, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but if so, thank you. That was an easier way to show you guys that in focus anyway. Is that a bit dark too? I feel like the camera is a bit dark. Try to lighten that up a little bit. Hopefully that looks a little bit better. Thank you for the super chat there. So what do you think about the new Gundam Seed news? I must have missed that. I don't know what Gundam Seed news you're talking about. Why does plastic crack make me broke? New Age Retro Nerd. It tends to have that effect. But no, Gundam Seed news, I don't know. I haven't seen about that. Do you know where to find Gundam manuals? I bought the PG Perfect Strike secondhand. It didn't come with the manual. Yeah, Lintang. If you're looking for manuals, probably the best and easiest place would just be Dalong, just dalong.net, DALONG.net. It's a Korean site, but you should be able to find it. Most everything's in English enough to the point that you can find what you're looking for. And he has pictures of all like different Gundam builds and even some other non-Gundam stuff. But for what you're looking for, he also has pictures, scans of all the manuals for everything as well. So you should be able to find everything there. Look through Japanese hobby search. Yeah, Japanese hobby search is also another one. They have a lot of manuals on there as well. Okay, so we have stickers for the eyes. Even though this part is green, for the eyes, you have stickers which are more reflective. So they usually just tend to catch the light a little nicer, even though, like, if you're planning on painting the kit, it's nice that the part for the eyes is a separate part, makes it easier to paint. For our purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and use the stickers for now. And there's a couple of stickers here on the head, naturally. And this one's not wanting to stick on there. What's the deal? Come on, you. Get on there. Why is this sticker like not wanting to stick at all? Come on. Yeah, what the fuck? Did I like peel off part of like the sticker backing with it? I think maybe I did, which sucks because that's going to make it really, it's a tiny sticker. It's going to be really difficult to separate that. But I think I peeled off some of the sticker back with it. Did I? I think so. Let me see. Which is annoying, definitely. So, yeah, I did. That's why it wasn't sticking. So there you go. So you guys can see this. That's the eye sticker, and the backing on that, when I peeled it up, I peeled up like part of the paper with that. So just something to look out for. That's tricky. If you're trying to put your sticker on there and it's not wanting to stick, that's the reason why. Oof. Tiny. Usually, like for an HG kit, it'll be like one sticker which goes like across both of the eyes at once. Sometimes they'll have it separated into two stickers, but it's usually not just the eye. It's also including like some of the black area around the eye. It's not too often for an HG kit we see that the sticker is like, for RG kits, sometimes, yeah, they have these where it's like just the shape of the eye is the sticker, which just makes it very, very tiny. So it's not something too often seen on a HG kit. So that sticker was a little bit tricky to get on there, but we got it. Head's looking good. Then we also have stickers for the front and back of our dome, dome piece here. One of which it doesn't say in the manual to put this on first, but I think this is going to be easier to put on first before we put that piece down. It's also part of this green piece here on the front, so you wouldn't necessarily need to use the sticker. But go ahead and put that sticker on there for the front camera. The back camera, though, doesn't have an actual green piece. So the back camera, we will need to use the sticker for that, which is number 4. So basically these first 4 stickers at the top of the sticker sheet are all just for the eyes and head cameras. There we go. All right, there you have it. Very cool. Do you have the new 30-minute missions Forestieri kit? Yeah, I believe that was the one that just came in. Yes. Yeah. But just got that literally like just the other day, so I've not built it yet. I will. Lin Tang asks, are you continuing the HG Moon Crab Kit Bash? Yes. I've got that primed at the moment, so I just need to start painting it. So there's our head. Let's take a nice close look at that. Pretty awesome. So that's with the stickers for the head cameras and the eyes there. Nice color separation there at the top with the Vulcans sticking up there. That clear part there at the front. Sticker there for the back camera. No safety flags on the kind of fins here because they're not really coming to a point all that sharp, so don't really need those, but those would definitely look nice if you sharpened up these fins to like a sharper point. How's it look in the manual? Yeah, even on the manual, I mean, like they're not that sharp looking at it there, but I think it would be cool if you sharpen those up. Okay, so let's continue on. Next is the body. Set that there. All right. Mark Setter it. The sticker? You guys, I don't know if that comment about the Mark Setter was for me or for somebody else. So here's where we have this part as well. I keep having to show you guys zoomed in stuff. Here you go. The part for the chest, which looks pretty awesome. But then we also have the stickers for that. So I don't know exactly how those are going to go. Let's see. So we have this part here for the neck first. Should be. There it is. And the way that this like kind of cowl part fits around the neck really reminds me of an HD Ironblood Orphans kit. Very similar in that. Let's see. Then we have this part here. Oh, okay. Building this kind of backwards. And that's all the gray part for the inside of the torso. The rest is all in pink. There's a lot of pink with this section of the build. With this part going up. Is this really a Gundam? Yes, it is, because it says Gundam on the box. When it comes to, I know this is a debate that I don't really see too much anymore. I think these days most people kind of get that, like the whole thing of like what is a Gundam and what's not. But I'd seen like, I don't know, in the past I'd seen it come up more often as to like people arguing about what technically makes a Gundam or not. But it's always been kind of simple for me, from my point of view. But I'm not someone who cares too much about like the lore of stuff and like the story. I just enjoy the model kits. But for me, it's always seemed pretty straightforward that the only real thing that you need to consider when it comes to what is a Gundam and what's not is whatever Bandai or Sunrise say is a Gundam. So if its name is Gundam and it says Gundam on the box, or that's part of like its official name is Gundam, then it's a Gundam. The only reason, well, I don't know, is there any that like don't have Gundam in the name, but they are technically a Gundam? I'm not sure of any offhand. Uh-oh, I was supposed to put this part on first. Not following the manual, even though it's in bright pink. Should be very easy to see. I need to take those off entirely. If the box says it's a Gundam, then it's a Gundam. Yep, exactly. Found the manual. Thanks. There you go. Yeah, I forgot the sheer amount of parts. Yeah, the Perfect Strike, obviously going to be a pretty parts-heavy kit, especially a perfect grade Perfect Strike. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that box. The Penelope is just Penelope. Oh, okay. So the Gundam is not officially like part of the name of the Penelope. So there you go. There's an example. Are you sure it's not Penelope Gundam? What's up? Long time no see, Alvin. What's going on? Good to see that there's somebody over there on Twitch. I wasn't sure if there was anybody there. Now for the chest, so we can just use this part, right? Or we can use this clear part with the sticker. Okay. So if you wanted to have it deactive, you can use that. I'm going to just go for the active one and see how it looks. So this is the activated sticker on the back of this part. Let's see if I can get it on here. I have to go off camera for this one. Oops, oops, oops. Whew. That's a tough one, but I think I nailed it. All right, so let me show you guys the difference here in these. It's going to be kind of tricky to see. This is the pre-printed part, which looks much brighter, and this is the clear part with the sticker underneath, which has like a, I don't know, a little bit kind of different shine to it. I don't know, but I think definitely the pre-printed one looks so much brighter and better than the sticker version, but I guess kind of cool. If they give you this, it's kind of a wonder why they made a big deal about like the double-sided sticker for this in the first place, because that doesn't really look quite near as nice, but I don't know. Okay, and I forgot that there was supposed to be a couple stickers right on the middle of the torso as well. Somehow I missed that too, so I'm going to take this apart again and we'll try one more time to not forget anything. In the meantime, would you consider the Strike Rouge a Gundam? Yeah, absolutely. Shiny. Just built the Penelope this weekend. It's crazy. Yeah, it's a cool one. Okay, let me just check, make sure I didn't miss anything else while we're here. These big green eyes that it has in the middle of the chest. Forgot to put these on here. A toothpick here. Makes me want to use a LED to light up the stickers on the chest piece. Yeah, that is, I mean, but if you're using the sticker, no matter, well, I don't know how well an LED would light the pre-printed part. I think if you wanted to use an LED in there, probably your better bet would be to use the pre-printed one, because the sticker would just block light entirely. The pre-printed one, I guess, would probably maybe let a little bit more light through. You'd have to test it out, but there we go. All right. Oh, sorry, I forgot it was zoomed in the entire time. Sorry. There we go. So here's the torso there. I love the eyes in the chest, even though I don't know if that was intentionally designed to look like that, but it definitely looks like, obviously it looks like eyes, right? And it almost looks like a owl, because it looks like kind of a beak here in the center part. But anyway, it's looking pretty awesome so far. Next is the arms. All right. Side pipe LED. Yeah, that could work. Does the design look so sophisticated? Yeah, it does. They're pretty nice designs for sure. I keep saying pre-printed, but I should say in-mold piece is technically what it's called, I guess. The arms of this one actually seem pretty basic in their construction. So the construction, even including the head and chest, it really reminds me a lot of the, what's the name of the system Bandai's using for like the entry grade kits and the 30 minutes mission kits? The Fine Build system, is that right? Anytime I say that, though, it reminds me of the Fine Brothers, which is weird. I think that's right? Fine Build, where it's just kind of like really simple. That's cool. This like kind of little shield bit here on the side of the shoulder can move a little bit there. Yeah. Do you have the parts pre-cut before going live? Yes. So Pembaru, I always do that on all my live builds. I cut out all the parts and also remove all the nubs and everything ahead of time, just so you guys don't have to sit through watching me do all that boring stuff. And we can just focus on building the kit. But yep, that's the case. Let's see. That must go on that side. And this one here, like that. Lower arm. But yeah, the just the way the kit goes together is just super simple. So it really reminds me of building like an entry grade or 30 minutes missions type kit. But you know, the point is, what can they do with that simplicity? And if you're able to get, you know, a really nice build out of really simple construction, then you know, fair enough. So long as the build quality doesn't suffer. But I can say that the single jointed elbows, while you do get like full range of elbow movement, the fact that they are single jointed is a little bit disappointing for a brand new HG line to just be sporting single jointed elbows. But I mean, it does what it needs to do, I suppose. You get a pretty full bend. It's not all the way. So I think if that was a double joint, you would be able to get a little bit further bend out of that. But I think they are also limited to just the design of the kit as well. I think if that's how they look, just based on the design, then that's what it is. But as you can see there, the construction of the arm, I mean, and if I wasn't talking to you guys and also fiddling around with the stickers, the construction of the head and body also would have gone very fast. I mean, they're pretty quick builds, it seems like. So that's why they really remind me of like 30 minutes missions and entry grade kits almost. Not quite that simple, but oh, 안녕하세요, 자쿠님. 안녕하세요, 조셉님. It's so nice to be able to speak some Korean. I mean, I speak Korean to my wife and kids at home, I guess, but like to other people outside of the home. It's been a really 오랜만. The C-clip. Yes, plenty of those in here. So like these kits are going to be real easy to paint. And that's probably why I'm sure if you guys have seen like on Japanese Twitter, you're already seeing like loads of painted builds. I mean, like it seemed like literally like the day they were released. And especially like just the days following the release of these kits. I mean, you're already seeing lots of painted builds. That said, I've seen so many painted builds of the Lfrith already and hardly anything of the Beguir-Beu. Maybe it's just not as popular or what, I don't know, but I've seen very few of that one. And I've already seen like probably a dozen different painted builds of the Lfrith. And that's just what I've seen. I mean, I'm sure probably much more than a dozen have been painted already. But HE nowadays getting really simple, basic, and details. Like I said, I don't mind the simple construction, so long as it still is nicely detailed and still does everything it needs to do. So you know, as long as that's the case, I don't mind it at all. Yeah. The waist section here is 4 pieces, which I said I was going to follow the manual, but I'm actually skipping ahead. The waist is a little bit further on, but just so that I can, once we build the legs, I'll have some thing to attach them onto right away. But yeah, definitely going to be very simple and easy kits to paint for you guys. So I mean, I would say it's a pretty safe bet that probably around the beginning of next year, on the beginning of 2023, once we start having some more of these kits out and available for you guys, pretty fair to say we'll probably have a contest related to this line of HG kits. But I mean, so something to think about for the future. RG God Gundam came out a couple days ago as well. Yes, we'll be getting that and we'll be reviewing that. And I've gotten a couple people asking if I plan on reviewing that one. Yeah, definitely. I love the God Gundam. Can't wait for that kit. Most Japanese modelers are using the sanding machine that works like an electric toothbrush. Yeah, I have seen a lot of people, they do use that. Not everyone, but I know a lot of them do use that. Did Bandai go with the keep it simple, stupid route with their kits? Yeah, I mean, like I said, if it works. Hope the anime wasn't cringe and will not like IBO. Well, I did watch a little bit over the weekend. I kind of skimmed through the prologue. but I need to go back and actually watch it all the way through. I was with my kids. They saw that I was working on these kits, and they asked me to show them like a video of the Gundams, and I looked, and there's no video of either of these Gundams other than just the prologue. So I had to find the prologue, but like skimming through that, just trying to show them a little bit of it. It's not like super violent, but there's like the, I don't know, just the political intrigue and other stuff going on that's just not fun for them. And then there's like the battle scenes, which are violent enough for my kids. They're 4 and 6. I didn't really want them to see like people being blown up and all that. So I just skimmed through it enough for them to just kind of catch a glimpse of the Gundams. And I said, okay, see, good, done. That's all. And they're like, oh yeah, it looks cool. All right. We'll have to watch the prologue in full later when they're not looking over my shoulder. Should also be making sure that I'm not meant to be putting stickers on here, because I've just been kind of zooming through here. Where did those? I think the last of the stickers all just basically go on the weapons. Let me just have a quick look here. There's a couple of little pink spots, which go on the knees, actually. Looks like. Yep. All right. Kind of worry about the C-clips on the legs. I mean, yeah, take it or leave it. It makes it easier for painting. But otherwise, I mean, I know, yeah, people have kind of mixed opinions on those parts at times. Interesting. Oh, okay, the front of the leg. I was going to say, is there no knee part to cover up this thruster on the front of the leg? And then I remembered, oh yeah, that's the knee part that we're about to put some stickers on. Let's put this, finish up this part first. I skipped over the foot because I was just kind of blazing right on through that. The foot we need, let's see. Okay, interesting. Even this part for the top of the foot, which, let me zoom in because it's kind of interesting here. This part for the top of the foot, normally this would, you have your bottom of the foot and top of the foot is just plugged straight down into this. But even this part, it plugs down in, and then you have to slide it to the front to lock it into place, which kind of looks unpleasing on the bottom, unfortunately. But again, that also makes it easier to paint, because if you guys are painting kits, like on HG kits, sometimes there are difficult parts to disassemble feet because normally they're pretty tight. And that's, at least for me, probably the most common place that I end up breaking pegs while disassembling kits. It never really matters too much because normally it's like these foot parts will have like 4 pegs holding the part together. And then if you end up breaking one, still have 3, it's still plenty. And even if you only had 1 peg left, it would be enough to hold the parts together without any issue. And you could always glue it if you're feeling unsure. But the point is, the way that this is constructed is even easier. There's like no way that you can mess that up for painting. So it's pretty interesting. Now, I don't know if that is Bandai's goal with these kits, is to make them easier to paint, but it's certainly a byproduct of the easier construction plan. These, all right. So we got these stickers that go on the side of the knee. And other than that, the last sticker that we were going to have left is just a little camera sticker for the gun. And that's going to be all. So I mean, aside from like little camera bits, these are the only color correcting stickers on the kit, which is pretty nice. I think there's a lot more with the Beguir-Beu. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, or pronouncing it in a way that's not offending any of you. But I know I'm sure I'll still get comments letting me know that, oh, I was supposed to bend that first, then pop the knee into place, and then bend it back. I'm sure I'll still get comments letting me know that the way that I'm pronouncing that is incorrect. But there's that for this part. That fits onto there. Oops, once again, followed the order wrong. Really need to slow it down with this, I guess. Put this one on here first, then put this one onto here. I guess I can tell you just, there we go. I do really like the way that these hips fit together. Let's take a look at this. How, because number one, you don't have a hip joint or like a skirt armor, which normally like this section right in here would be covered. I can point here. This section here would be covered with the front skirt armor, but it's not in this case. So rather than just like a kind of standard, just peg socket joint, which, looks very simple, this one like has a much better just kind of design around this area. So like once this is all painted and detailed and everything, it's got a much nicer look to that, very detailed look there around the hip connection, which is pretty cool. I like that. Are the feet hollow? No. So kind of halfway. So let me zoom back in again here for you. With that. There you go. So sort of like a half hollow. It's kind of what I usually call it. But yeah, so not ideal, but not entirely hollow. So again, very reminiscent of 30 Minutes Missions, entry grade kind of build. Let's see. What else did War Harry say? When, yes, I would make myself the work to try and copy the underfoot details and make a plate with the details and cement it under hole. With this one, I mean, as they are, I mean, you can, do whatever works best to your liking. But with it being just missing some of that detail in, I think probably what you could do is just fill that in with putty. Probably be the best and easiest way. With it being just basically just kind of around the edges like that, you could still have all your detail on the inside. And then that missing square, like right in the center there where this part slides in, if you didn't need to slide this anymore and you could just set that in there, then you could just get like a little tiny little square detail part or something like that. It would fit right in there pretty well, I think. Did I get this from Zen Market? No, I didn't. I don't get anything from Zen Market. I have in the past when I did like a promotional thing with them, but no, I don't use any Japanese proxy sites like that, other than just the couple of promotional things I've done in the past. I find them personally, while I don't mind doing an ad plug for them, because like if you want to use them, if it works out for you, then that's fine. But at least for like the kind of stuff that I would be interested personally in buying from Japan, I just don't find them useful services. But for some things, I mean, like they can be useful. So I mean, if it was like just like a, I don't know, completely worthless product or something like that, then I might not really care to help promote that kind of business. But I think those type of businesses can be useful. I know that like a lot of people use them for getting P Bandai type stuff from Japan as well. But even with that, I mean, it depends on what country you're living in, but at least in America these days, it's nice that we have P Bandai US. Some stuff can be difficult to get even through P Bandai US. I mean, stuff sells out, and just because we have P Bandai US doesn't mean that it's necessarily easy to get P Bandai stuff, but it's easier than trying to get it from Japan or having to use like third-party proxy seller websites like that, auction sites. I will say, just from my experience, and my very limited experience from working with sites like that, though, I did find to be Zen Market to be nicer than Bai, which is the one I know that is also one that people use. I know it's the one that Mecha Gaikotsu, I think, promotes usually for his P Bandai stuff, I believe. Are there any fixed better placement parts for the infamous Freedom 2.0 waist joint? I believe that a third-party company out of China came out with a metal parts set for the Freedom 2.0 hip section. Oh, sorry, my battery's gonna die. Hang on. All right. Morning, Lorenz. But yeah, I believe that there was a option set that came out for the Freedom 2.0 to replace those parts with metal parts. I believe. I'm not sure how easily available it might be at this point, but could try. And I don't know if we have it here at USA Gundam Store. I believe that we did in the past when that came out. So you could search our site for that. If not, I would search eBay. Which, if we have it, it might come up on eBay from our store because we have a eBay store as well. Third-party metal parts for each you mentioned. Yeah, so Travis is also kind of confirming that there. Anyway, so these are all the parts for the backpack and the shield and the rifle. So, I mean, compared to other sections of the build, there's a lot of stuff here for this part of it. Hey, MJ. And we can, let me just fold the manual back so it'll be a little bit easier. And just to double check, before I forget, I want to just go ahead and put the sticker on the rifle part now, so that I don't forget later. Yeah. There we go. And that means we're done with the stickers, which is nice. How did you set up this kind of camera? Planning to stream builds myself. Well, my setup works, but it's not the best. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it to you. It just kind of depends what you want to do. If you want to do streaming primarily, then you could do something that would be a much better kind of semi-permanent setup. The way that mine is set up is that I'm using the same space that I use for doing my reviews and everything. So that means that I kind of have to switch the space over, because when I'm filming reviews, this table is up against this wall. So I have to move the table like kind of forward and back and kind of change the setup around. So like if you were just doing streaming though, you wouldn't have to do that. You could just set up like something a little bit more permanent and probably much more comfortable for you, and not something that would involve having to move things around every time you want to do your setup. Or if you are doing like a mix of, hang on, oh okay, this part goes in here first. If you are doing a mix of like you want to make like build videos or review videos or whatever else you're doing, and also doing live streaming, then what you could do to put the effect part in here, this opens up. I see. Then if that's the case, if you are wanting to do like different type of stuff, then what you can do is, make a setup kind of like what I have here that you just kind of transform depending on what you're doing, or you try to have multiple setups, which I think is probably the better way to go if you have enough space. Having kind of multiple sets set up, basically. But yeah, I don't know how helpful that is. But how's the Lfrith so far? Good. It's cool. I like it. It's about what I was expecting. I mean, it's not like blowing me away, being like blowing away my expectations. It's basically just right about what I was expecting for the build, really, to be honest, which is not a good or bad thing. I had high hopes for it. It looked like it was going to be a nice kit, and now that I'm able to build it, it's basically just confirming that it's a nice kit. So I'm happy with it. It's also not like disappointing me in any way. I was a bit concerned when I first saw like the construction manual, taking a look at that and the parts, about like specifically in like the single jointed elbows. Like when I saw that in the parts and in the manual, I was like, man, really? But I mean, they get a pretty full bend, about as much as you would want, really, other than like that last kind of 20-30 degrees there. That kind of would have been nice, but other than that, seeing it in person, though, it definitely has a little bit more kind of upper body chunk than I really thought that it did, like looking at it in the photos. And I guess maybe it's just kind of depending on how you have it posed, but yeah, it's a lot more bulky in the upper body than I had thought seeing it initially. There we go. How's the bugs and humidity down there in good old Florida? Well, Blue Falconder, I was just telling the story earlier on in the stream. I don't know if you were in here yet at the time, but we had a visitor of a couple of frogs mating in our inflatable swimming pool. And so we have frog eggs now at the moment, which has been cool. So that was Saturday morning that we had frogs laying a bunch of eggs in the pool. And let me see, hang on, sorry. Oh, I missed that part. That goes on there like that. That's like that. This one here. But yeah, so we needed to clean the pool anyway. So it was a good chance. I got all the frog eggs out of the pool. We cleaned out the swimming pool because today is the first day of school for our county. So my kids are back at school now. Well, back at school for my son, starting school for my daughter. It's her first day of school here in America. She was already going to school, kind of a preschool kind of thing in Korea. And when we moved here, she had to stop going to school because there was nothing for her, unfortunately. So just difference in like kind of the school system, like for toddlers. But toddler, and she's not really a toddler; she's 4. But it's her first day going to school here in America. So she's been really excited about that, which is cute. She's been really excited about going to school. But as I expected, right when we actually got to the point where we're actually dropping her off at school, then she was feeling nervous. So I knew that was going to happen, but I'm sure like once she got inside and like, once they start doing stuff, I'm sure she'll be fine. But yeah, like right at that point when we were dropping her off, she was like, not so sure about it anymore. But yeah, so we've got tadpoles growing in a big plastic bowl at our house. And once those get to be a little bit larger, once they start kind of turning into little froglets, then I think we'll probably have to go dump them in the pond. Let's see. We have all of our shield bits, which are not called that. There's a different name for them, which I can't remember offhand, but let's see. This was supposed to be ×2. This one was also supposed to be ×2. Let's go ahead and, that's that. Put this on here. And that's that. Like that. And there we go. So there's all our shield parts. Looks great. Yeah, it does look great. I mean, it definitely looks nice. Let's see. Gun to bits. All right. But yeah, the heat is honestly, just going back to Blue Falconder's question there about the heat and the bugs is what you mentioned, right? Yes, if yeah, Amante asking about how I got the kits. Yeah, just to remind people, as I was saying earlier, I did get mine. So we haven't got the kits like in store at USA Gundam Store yet, like our shipment of the kits here. I just got mine to build for review early, just because they came directly from Japan. Not early, like early. It would be nice if I could get kits early. That'd be awesome, but Bandai doesn't do that. So, yeah, I just got them. Just once they were released, I was able to get them. Yeah, Blue Falconer. Yes, I can teach the kids about the frog life cycle. Yeah, they kind of already knew that because like they've read about it like in books. They have my kids, fortunately, at least at this point, still really love books. So they've got books sorry, about all kinds of stuff. So they kind of already knew about frogs. And I'm sure they learned about it like in their Korean school as well too. I think they learned about it there, but about like the frog life cycle. But yeah, they can actually see it in person. But as far as the heat and humidity here, I mean, like, it's been hot and humid, but honestly, like, not that bad as I was expecting. And there's some days where, yeah, you don't want to be outside, but like for most of the time, I mean, it's pretty fine. Wouldn't necessarily say like tolerable, because like I said, I don't like want to be outside. But I mean, like, from like compared to Korea, like we have like in the summer it gets pretty hot and humid on some days. So I mean, like, having much more of this heat and humidity like day after day after day for like a much longer portion of the year, I mean, that's something a little different. But I mean, as far as just like on a day-to-day basis, it's not like anything really entirely all that new. Come get some Texas heat. Yeah, I don't know about that. Your kids are 4. Another coincidence. Yeah, my kids are 4 and 6. So my daughter is 4, my son is 6. See you, MJ. So that is everything. There's our surfboard shield, which I do really like as a shield. And hey, what's going on, Matt? You're fine. The cool thing is that if you wanted this to just be like maybe just a shield like that, something really small, you could like just have it be just the center section, or even just less, even just like that, or even less, and have it just be this section. So it's kind of cool that you have that versatility with this just being made up of a bunch of different pieces. That's it. If you wanted to keep it as just one single piece, it seems solid enough, but just to err on the side of caution, I would maybe recommend gluing some of those pieces, because it's a pretty tight fit, but not like super tight. And if you are planning on keeping it as one solid piece, and especially like you wanted to paint, you wanted to have like some cool like masking, you like wanted to mask like a big like lightning strike kind of detail over the top of this or something like that, then I would recommend maybe just gluing the parts together. Yes, Eureka 7. Yeah, I have seen the people making the comparison to Eureka 7. Yeah. So there's that on the arm. The gun just slots down into your holding hand. Pretty typical HG style there. And that's it. So unfortunately, even though I'm happy to have the kit to build, I really should have ordered 2 of them, because really what I want to do with this is to have the full shield and have all the parts attached onto the backpack. Because one thing that I don't like about this design is the empty backpack looks really awkward and weird. Empty is just like all this empty space here. Now you could opt for just going without the backpack, which I think is maybe a little bit better, but then it looks like it's just kind of plain, but it's not bad. And it does have the standard like 2-peg system here at the back, so you could plug any number of other backpack onto that, which actually I have a really good idea for backpack, which I think is right over there. Hold on, guys. We're going to customize this on the spot. What's up, Chris? Empty backpack sure looks empty. Yeah, without the, well, I don't know which one you're talking about. Yeah, but they both look empty. So I think ideally I would like to have 2 of this kit and put all the shield bits as a shield and on the backpack, but I have another idea. Hang on. Let me grab this. I think it's right over here. This backpack, I think, could look pretty cool on this particular kit. I've been hanging on to this backpack for a while because I really like the design of it, but I haven't really found anything that I thought it would make a good fit. Maybe this one. Either this. Oh, no, this doesn't have the same connection. Shoot. Doesn't it? Either this or the other one. Well, I was going to say this one, which is the Lightning Back Weapon System Mark III. But I do also have the Lightning Back Weapon System Mark II. Here it is, which I was planning to use for a different build. This is the Mark II, right? Yeah, Mark II backpack. This one also doesn't have the 2-peg adapter. Well, I would have to use an adapter piece for that or something. But this could also be a pretty cool backpack. Either like this, which those wings are pretty long. I'd have to angle them out, but you know, a like big massive backpack like that could look pretty cool, just as far as like some kind of like special equipment or something. That route, or this one, which is actually mixed up of some pieces of the, I think it was like that tertium option set. So that's why I was planning on doing with this. So I won't use that, I'm sure, because I have different plans for that backpack system. But the Mark III backpack is not bad. I'll have to think about that. Anyway, so yes. Oh, made it. All right. Weapons packs incoming. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if they'll do like some weapons packs for this or not. We'll have to see if that ends up being kind of part of the story. But with not having anything like that announced as of yet for this, I mean, it could be something they're just kind of holding off on, but I have a feeling that probably more likely is that we probably won't see a lot of that with this series, but who knows? It could definitely be wrong. Amazing Strike Freedom backpack would look pretty cool. I do have that right here behind me. Is that why you're saying that? Because I have it right behind me. Pop that over there. Yeah, the Amazing Strike Freedom, yeah, that could work too. But anyway, alternatively, like anything from 30 Minutes Missions will fit on this as well. So I mean, there's a lot of 30 Minutes Missions packs. So like the flight pack, the Alto flight pack for 30 Minutes Missions would also probably look pretty cool as like a flight pack for this. And that would look pretty nice. What's up, DT Warrior? Dual Maxwell says there are a bunch of kits I wanted to panaline was the best product for cleaning the kit for panelining. Are you just wanting to panaline just right directly onto the plastic? Sorry, what's going on with my throat? If you're just wanting to panaline directly on the plastic and like that's all you want to do with it, just panaline it and then maybe put on some top coat or something like that. You really don't need to clean anything beforehand. That's fine. If it's on a painted kit, then if it's a painted kit, then I would recommend gloss coat. Surely make sure that you gloss coat the kit before painting. But other than that, yeah, you don't need to do anything to clean. If all you want to do is just do a little bit of panel lining on your kit, and then maybe some top coat on it, and that's it, then all you really need is some Gundam markers like this. There's different products that you can use, but what I would recommend is just using these. So just these are just these Gundam markers, fine tip type. I always like to keep, I don't normally do this, but like sometimes I'll panel line kits just like with these for review. If it's like a painted kit, I wouldn't use these. I would use some other different kind of paint. But for just an unpainted kit, these work the best. So I always keep black, gray, and brown on hand because you typically need kind of all of them depending on what color. If like for this kit, I would probably do most of everything in gray, even in the pink areas. Normally on like red, yellow, orange, and like brown parts, you would want to use the brown panel line pen, but this being like a bright pink, I don't think the brown would really necessarily look good. I would just probably stick with just using gray everywhere. And on white, you would want to use gray just because black would be too dark. On like the dark gray areas, you could maybe opt for black. That also still might be pretty dark because this is kind of a light gray, but as long as you kept your lines pretty thin. Now with these, you can't just use the marker and then just be done with it. Hey, what's up, Kurosama? You can't just use the marker and then just be done with it. The lines will be too thick and too heavy, even for like a master grade. On a perfect grade, maybe, because the line shouldn't be that thick. But if you're doing a perfect grade, it's pretty big, so then the line, you have a little bit more room as far like making a thicker line. But just doing your paneling lining with these and then calling it a day, especially on an HG kit, wouldn't look good. So you will still have to do like some cleanup and stuff. And I actually have plans to do a video specifically about that later this week. So if you guys have seen in the past couple weeks, hey, D'Angelo, thank you for the super chat there, as always. Really appreciate it. But if you guys have seen on the USA Gundam TV channel in the past couple weeks, I've done a couple of videos. The first one was about applying stickers, and the second one was about using a part separator. So just these like really quick, like a couple minute videos of just like how to do like specifically just one kind of like simple basic technique. I'm planning on doing those type of videos there on a weekly basis on that channel, just for like such really simple basic stuff for you guys, mostly to help out with beginners. And so the next one that I'm planning on doing is about panel lining with those pens. So you guys can see that pretty shortly. Yes, onto the Beguir-Beu. Let's see. Release your video, dang it. Are you guys talking about Crow? Crow, weren't you making a video with the bath bombs? I also got that kit, and I really liked your idea of actually showing those in the bath, but I didn't want to buy your idea. But, you know, with the kit coming with bath bombs, you kind of have to show it, right? And we do have a gigantic new bathtub in our house. So it's not new. Gigantic bathtub in our new house. How about a paint tutorial 2.0? Yeah, Blue Falconer. That's something I'll be working on for my channel. That'll be like basically like a fully redone version of that series. Oh, the bath bomb video is up. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Full nude. All right. If I end up borrowing your idea, I don't know if I'll do that, but we'll see. Now the Mercury boxes and manual covers look really clean and fancy. Yeah. Sorry. Wow. Not now, but yeah, I do really like the art style for these. Definitely. All right. So of course, naturally, we've got stickers for the head. Let's get started here on this guy. All right, so we do go ahead and put these parts together first. So just like with the Lfrith, I mean the parts for like the camera, which is like this like cross section on the top, and then like the eyes as they were, these parts in the head are an actual colored part. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the stickers for now, just to get that shine, the stickers, and show you guys how the stickers look. But they are actually a separate part, which is nice. And the manual has you doing it so that you put these parts together first and then put the stickers on, but putting them on now, it feels like it probably would have been easier to just put the stickers on before putting these two pieces together. That's fine. Ew, gross. Put the Lfrith back on. It's right here. I left him. There you go. I left him together. I'll keep him around, so that once we're done, we can take a look at the two of them together. Kurosama going above and beyond for us. Yes. The old paint video still holds up, by the way. I mean, yeah, it's fine. Most everything in there, I mean, is still applicable for, especially if you're doing, painting in that way with spray cans. But yeah, it's been definitely something that's been on my to-do list for a long time. It's making a new version of that video series, but just focusing on airbrushing rather than spray cans. So it's just, with moving and then just like trying to get all settled in, everything here, just have not been able to do that yet. Damn, that was a quick build. Yeah, so the Lfrith went together pretty fast, and I imagine this one will as well. This one's got a lot more going on in the backpack. Both of them have been pretty parts heavy as far as like just the backpack goes. Like the body, the arms, the legs, are pretty simple. It is an HG kit after all. They do go together pretty quick. See, I'm trying to keep the Lfrith on screen there for you guys. All right, my first kit was the RG Hainu, so people shouldn't worry. It's not as intimidating as it seems. Yeah, definitely not these kits. There's definitely nothing intimidating about these. These are pretty simple, and the manual make it like on these. I mean, with every new like line of kits and stuff that Bandai's coming out with, they're like making the manuals even more foolproof like than ever before. That's like a little cockpit there, isn't it? That's a tiny little cockpit detail. Right here in the chest, that's a little cockpit seat there, I guess. That's covered up by this little clear purple part there. Sort of like the Tournay's crotch pit. Pretty cool. What's your favorite part of build a kit? Well, if we're talking like fully painting a kit and everything, probably my favorite part would be like the actual painting of it, because that's where you can like really see everything like kind of coming together. So where you're really seeing the biggest amount of change in the shortest amount of time. If that makes sense. Because like sanding is just monotonous. It takes forever, but you just kind of have to do it. Let's see. And like you're not really seeing too much really changing. And like panel lining, decaling are also I find pretty monotonous. But just kind of one of those things you just have to do it. Whereas painting is where you're really kind of seeing everything coming together, and it's really cool to see. So I really love the painting process probably the most. Other than that, or just like if I'm doing just some quick kind of simple customization, as you guys probably know by now, I don't necessarily like to do any kind of customization that like takes weeks and months of work. If it's something that, let's see, it's the wrong place. If it's something that, is something that is a pretty easy modification that, I can just do and just like knock it out. It's pretty simple and it looks really cool. Something, it could just be like extending the proportions of like a leg on an HG kit by like just stacking plot plate on like the frame part of the leg, and then I don't have to modify the actual outside part or something like that anyway, something simple. But if it's like a quick and easy customization, like that's always really satisfying, because it was like, wow, I'm really happy with this, with how I've changed the kit, with how I've customized the kit, and it only took like 10 minutes. That's always fun. But definitely, I mean, like, I don't want to take away anything, or like not say that it's better to spend, you know, more time, and people who do spend loads of time on like the customization of their kits is definitely, you know, props to them. Yeah, the older RG kits are fine. I would definitely agree with that. Blue Falcon, or like, I mean, like, there's like the Zeta, you have to be a little bit careful transforming it, but other than that, it's fine. The Shinanju is the same. I mean, like, it's got a couple of parts that you may want to just add a little bit of glue. Other than that, it's basically fine. They're really not deal breaker. Really, there's nothing about any of the older RG kits that should be deal breakers. If you like the way it looks, they're all fine. Roiden, hello. Would you also live build the aerial Gundam? Yeah, I probably will when that comes out, but that's not out till October, right? So it's gonna be a while. It's kind of strange how these two are coming out so much earlier than the rest of the line. It's gonna be a long wait until we see any more Witch from Mercury kits. Not that long. 2 months or a month and a half or something. 7-8 weeks. I don't know. It's gonna be a while before all the MGs I want are available or restocked. Yes. Pretty much most kits are at a minimum fine if you don't manhandle them. Yeah, definitely. I mean, really, there's not any kit that I can think of that I would say is like a bad kit by any means. Like, obviously, like the old 80s kits, things like that are, you know, not going to be anything good compared to like today's standards. But, you know, why would you expect it to be, right? You just have to know what you're, just have to know what to expect out of a kit. And even with something like another one that just it gets a lot of hate, of course, would be like the Tristan. And even with something like that, it's just a matter of like, yeah, here's a kit that has like pretty shy articulation, and like, even though it's a kit that came out fairly recently, it's basically more like a kit that came out, you know, 20 years ago. As long as you know that going into it, I mean, like, what's there really to be all that disappointed about? I mean, it's a fine kit. It's just it's not like, it's not a nice kit or like a fun kit necessarily. But again, just kind of depends on what you want it to do. If you like the design of it and you don't really care that it's not like super crazy articulated and super detailed and everything, you just like the way it looks, then there's absolutely no reason not to buy it. Cheers from the Philippines. Hello. Or do you think we'll see an MG aerial soon, or full mechanics maybe? I would imagine it would probably be an MG, and I would imagine it might be next year. I'd imagine they wouldn't wait too long after the series start to put on an MG. Maybe till 2024, but I would imagine probably 2023. So long as the series doesn't like flop immediately, I would think we'll probably see an MG relatively soon. Probably next year. Yeah, I wouldn't think that they would relegate it to a full mechanics release. I would be much more surprised by that. But at the same time, you never know. So we'll just have to wait and see. Hope the series doesn't flop. Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, I think it'll do pretty well. There's no way to know, but I think, I mean, like, compared to other recent series, yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I would expect it to do pretty well, I think. we'll see where they go with it. I don't know. I think one of the things that I've talked about many times about Iron Blood Orphans, that I think the first couple episodes were like pretty dark and gritty, and they kind of got away from that as the series continued. I think they should have stuck with that. That would have helped to make the series better overall and kind of more unique, in my opinion. I think probably what could make this series, I don't think it'll flop by any means, but what could make it not as popular as it could be is if they just kind of keep it pretty basic. If they don't do something at least a little bit different with it, I think that'll probably hurt it, and that it won't be as successful as it could be if they, try to do something a little bit more different, a little bit unique with the series, which so far I'm not really, I don't know if I've seen that it is going to be anything really all that unique and different other than just like a new Gundam story. But I mean, at the same time, I don't know, what can they do with it? That's not my department, but I think they have to get a little bit creative for a series, for a property that's been going on for so long, and they can't just keep doing like the same thing with with a different skin over and over again. You have to do something a little different. So I don't know. We'll see. I think that would be the best way to ensure that the series is as successful as it can be. But we'll see. Let's see. Good night, Zach. Good night, Juan. Char clone with a massive mobile armor. Yeah, it's gonna have that, no doubt. Have you seen the G-Witch prologue? No, I was talking about earlier that I skimmed through it a little bit, but I need to go back and actually watch it in full. Kind of interesting construction here for the arms. I was mentioning, I think that's just the wrong way. Oops. I was mentioning with the Lfrith that the arms, like the construction of the arms, was very reminiscent of like 30 minutes missions or like entry grade or something like that. Super simple. This one it's also like that, considering this one also just only has a single joint at the elbow, and it's just very much similar to like 30 minutes missions, or even not necessarily an entry grade, but like some of the more simple HD high grade kits we've had out, like the Leo or the Maganac. It's very simple in its construction compared to that. A little bit more unique with this one, just kind of the way that the parts go together is a little bit different, but how it basically doesn't have an elbow joint in there. The elbow joint is there in terms of the articulation, but like there's not like a frame piece there with like the Lfrith, and typically there's like a piece of visible frame there, which is the elbow joint. This one doesn't have that. It's like just armor, and there's no frame around there. So interesting. YouTube stream is popping way more than the Twitch one. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty typical. There's usually not that much people watching on Twitch. And I have, if you're talking on Twitch, I can see both of the chats here at once. So, I mean, if you're on Twitch, I can still see you there. But all right, let's see. So the hip section, if you guys noticed, you actually build the hip section at the same time you build the torso. So the hips, like the rotation of the hips, or the waist, I should say, the rotation of the waist section is actually in like below the chest. There's not a further articulation section down below that. So that means we can move right to the legs. I'm on both too, in case that helps your numbers somehow. Oh, thank you. I don't know if it really does much to help anything, but why not? Thank you. Do these new kits have any similarities with the build quality and level of details as the Moon Gundam HU? No. As far as like external detail, I mean, like, yeah, on the outside they'd have a lot of detail, but in terms of like the build complexity, no, nothing, not even close to that. They're very simple in their construction, which, you know, as I keep mentioning about this, perfectly happy with that, so long as they do what they need to do. And so, I mean, yeah, definitely not anything too complicated in the build complexity, but just the quality is there, so that's fine. Hip. Oh, that's upside down. There we go. Like that. Knee. And here's where we have another sticker. And should be another clear part, no? Where is that? Oh, there it is, hiding. Let's see. Do these new kits are polycap free, or did I miss it? You're a fast builder. Yeah, they are free from polycaps. So yeah, personally, that I don't really care one way or the other. I've never really been one to really make a big fuss out of whether a kit had polycaps or not, because honestly, I don't really see that much of a difference between kits that do have polycaps and don't. Typically, if a kit has issues, it's, you know, polycaps is usually not that big of an issue for kits one way or the other. But in the case of these kits, no, they don't have. They do not have any polycaps. If that's something that matters to you, you can rest assured that these ones do not. Let's see that there. This guy. Oof. Into the top like that. Then the foot. We have some cool claw feet for this guy, which again, I'll show you guys close up here in just a second for if you're wondering about the amount. Interesting. The amount of detail there either is or is not underneath the feet. I'll show you in just a second here. So I was expecting this claw part on the back of the foot to be able to stretch out flat, but it actually doesn't go any more flat than that. So that's the standing position of the foot, which I feel like is still doesn't look like it's quite straight, but I mean, as long as it stands up, I guess. But underneath the feet, yes, it is going to be hollow in and around the claw sections there. So if you wanted to fill that in or something, probably look good. But there is inward articulation of these, so that can kind of close up there like that, I guess. Oop, and come off pretty easily. So yeah, very C-clip heavy with these kits. But like I said, that will make them easier to paint, which is nice. There we go. I gotta say, overall, I like the proportions of this one. I think maybe a little bit more than the Lfrith. Like I said, the Lfrith was a lot more bulky in the upper half, especially like in the arms, than I was expecting, just based off of the box art. Long and bulky arms. This one definitely has shorter arms, and I think just like a better proportion of both those big giant shoulders and then pretty large thighs and like the small little feet. I don't know. More appealing proportions for me personally. Let's see. Code Geass writer is on Witch From Mercury. It's doomed. Not a good sign. I don't know. That doesn't mean anything to me just because I'm not familiar with that series. I haven't watched it. But as I know, people generally like that series though, right? So I don't know. Is the writing bad for it or something? Sent you a Discord DM about your Hazel big arms. Check it out when you have the time later. Have to get back to work. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Thank you. And thank you. I will check that out. Yeah. Yeah, I see it there. Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out here in just a little bit. Thank you for the reminder about that. All right. This guy. Once we have these legs done, then there's just the backpack, and we're pretty well underway. That we should be done here relatively soon. I love the design language they use for Witch. I'm pretty selective with which kits I buy, and I'm looking at buying 3 or 4 of these. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of uniqueness to the designs. I mean, there's a lot of familiar elements. Oh, it is ×2. Okay. There's a lot of familiar elements to the designs. I mean, like people have been pointing out that like this part looks like this from this kit, and this looks like this from this kit, whatever. But I think overall, I mean, yeah, they're definitely quite unique. When you have the, designers who have done work for different Gundam series before, then working on this same series, of course, they're probably going to end up, they have certain designing characteristics and things that they like as designers. So you're probably going to end up with familiar elements. But I think, yeah, overall, I mean, it's definitely, they got a lot of unique stuff going on with these designs, which should help the series to, be more interesting, at least the kits to be more interesting with some cool, unique, interesting designs. But Reconquista and G had that as well, and that didn't really work out so well in that case. So hopefully this time the series does a little better, and we'll see. So once again with this one, we have a lot more parts going on with the backpack than the rest of the kit, it seems. But here's all that. Hello, G Blimps. Gotta head to work later, everyone, by Alex. Yeah, I know that the time for the stream is not ideal, but I'm happy to see the amount of people who are able to tune in and watch for this live stream. That's very awesome. I was not expecting that many people to be here, just because of the time. I know it's not ideal, but it just happens to be the time that kind of works the best for me. So I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here. I'm sure there's a lot of you who are just very interested in these new kits, right? That makes sense. All right. Our backpack here, we've got a couple of stickers and a couple of clear parts for this section as well. We're almost through with the sticker sheets. The sticker sheet on this one, I mean, aside from like the kind of camera parts, which are like also clear parts on the head, most of the stickers so far have just been like going under clear parts, but there are a couple of these which are for some color correcting bits. So there will be a little bit of that. Trying to get this one on there just right, and throw our clear part over the top of that. So that sticker combined with the clear part, it does look pretty good. There, I'll show you guys that up close in just a second. I need to check where the other stickers go because I want to make sure that I didn't miss if those stickers were supposed to go somewhere on the legs or on the body or something. Excuse me, my wife is calling. Just a moment. Oh, I did miss a call 1 hour ago. Shoot. All right. Oops. Should have had that on. Was not expecting. Okay. Anyway, as soon as the live stream is done, I have to go back home. Work is being done at our house. So, okay, here's where one of the stickers go. Number 9. This one here. Mm. No, I'm kind of. No, I'm not going to be able to focus. I'm sorry, guys. So what's going on with the work at my house, which my wife is calling me about? As I've mentioned earlier, other times they're redoing our floor. So they did it incorrectly the first time, so they're having to redo it now. And in the process of redoing it, they're still kind of not redoing it correctly. I don't know. They're like fixing one section and then like messing up another part. So it's kind of a pain. And I was not expecting them to come today, at least not this morning, maybe in the afternoon, but I was not expecting them to be there at this time. And now, before they start working on stuff, I need to tell them like what parts they need to fix. And now I'm kind of like stressing out about it because I need to tell them what to do before they start working. So going to have to wrap up the stream here as soon as I'm done with this so that I can call them. Or what I might do is just put you guys on mute for a second while I can just call them and tell them what to do. Thank you, Duo. I'll be all right. I'll just call him real quick. So I'll put you guys on mute. I'll work on building the backpack here. I'm just calling him. Man, I'll be so glad to be done with this mess of a situation with my effing floor. Man, I'll tell you guys, it's been a real pain. Yeah, some Chinese dude. Yeah, I was on mute. Sorry, because I had to make a phone call. But these balls, I forgot to put this clear part here on the backpack. I'll tell you guys. I want to do a video later, and probably just like during a live stream, I'll give you guys like the full rant of what's been going on with our house, our floor, and everything. It's nothing. I mean, I don't want to do like an actual like recorded video about it because it's just nothing to do with my channel at all. But it is maybe just like during a live stream while working on a live build or something like that. And why is the video frozen? What's going on now? Let me see. That's still on. Let me just go ahead and turn this. See, we'll do one of these. Turn that off. Turn that on. Try to get the video back here for you guys. I don't know why that's frozen. Let me go ahead and give me a second here. Just what I need for my issue to be compounded with technical issues. But we'll try this here so that I can show you what the kit looks like now that it's done. Basically done. I just need to these last couple parts here together. And I missed a sticker on something. I believe that sticker probably goes in on the backpack. Yep. All right. 2 stickers. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Dark Sun said, but is the double-sided sticker for the Lfrith just black for deactive? No, there's a double-sided sticker for the black deactive version, and there's a double-sided sticker for the active version. But as I showed earlier, you can go back and look at that part in the stream, but it doesn't really look that good. The in-molded part looks much better. So anyway, the long and short of what's been going on with our floor as I place these last couple stickers in here and try to get us. Why is that not showing anything? Well, at the very least, one camera is working. I don't know why that one's not. Oh, there it is. All right. Now I should be able to put this back up on here for you guys. And there we go. Okay. When we were moving into our house, it had like the floor was a mix of tile and carpet, and like the tile was kind of fine, the carpet was like super ugly, so we just wanted to redo the entire floor. So we hired this company to take all that up and then put down all new material, which was a luxury vinyl plank. But when doing that, kind of what you're supposed to do is to also like prep the floor. So like the planks just, it's a floating floor is what they call it. So the pieces are all connected to each other, but it's not actually connected to the slab, to the concrete slab at all. So there you go. There's our kits. So what they didn't do the first time was prepare the floor, prep the slab by like any like raised parts where there's like some debris or just like a raised part of the slab. They're supposed to grind that down, and any dips in the floor, they're supposed to fill that in with self-leveler. They didn't do any of that before. So when they laid down on the floor, there's like high spots and low spots, and you walk around on the floor and like you could like hear like a hollow gap. You'd be like when you step on certain areas where there's a hollow gap, or you can feel raised areas. So it wasn't right. And we told the company, we're like, and so we had to pay, like we paid a deposit, and then we were supposed to pay the balance when we were done. I'm like, we're not going to pay the balance because this is not done right, like clearly. They kept telling us like, oh, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. It's done right. We kept telling them, no, it's not, and it's not what we wanted and what we told you ahead of time. Like, so after months of arguing with them, we finally got to the point that we're like, all right, we have to get an independent inspector, which is basically something like the store has to pay for an independent inspector to come out, someone who doesn't know us, doesn't work for them, so they're supposed to be independent to just come out and check everything out, and they can say definitively, whether it was done right or not. So after months that to happen, a guy came out, checked everything out, did his report. The report comes back, and yep, lo and behold, it wasn't done like it was supposed to be. We already knew that, but now we have the report. So now the flooring company is like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a different installer come out and just totally redo it for you, take it all up, and do all the floor prep that was supposed to be on the first time and put it all back. The problem that we're having now with this guy, he is doing more of the floor prep, which I still think he could be doing more of that. He's doing certainly more than they were supposed to do the first time, which was 0. Certainly more than they did the first time, which was 0. He's doing probably like 70, 80% of, in a perfect world, what I would do if it was me doing it, which is, definitely a big improvement. So he's doing that. But the problem is then reusing the material that he's taking it all up and then putting it back down. In the process of reusing it, like the pieces click together. So there's like a piece that goes along the edge of the parts where it like fits together, where it clicks together. And like in reusing that, part of that gets broken off. And if it's just like a couple inches or something broken off, then it's fine to reuse. But if it's like a significant section of that, then when the pieces, there's basically nothing holding the two pieces together. So then you'll have like parts when you step on this one, it'll be like uneven between the parts because they're supposed to be held together on the side. So now we're having problems with them doing that. And like the floor company seems like committed to trying to make us happy, but their installer, by using parts that are already kind of broken, so he is redoing a section, and then I have to tell him, oh, this part's not right because these parts aren't fitting together. And then he's having to go back and fix that. And he keeps having to go back and fix things because he's reusing parts. And it's just a big mess. So it's like the flooring company seems like now finally they want to try to make it right for us. But now it's the installer who he's doing a better job than the team that did it the first time, but he's still doing stuff that's just shooting himself in the foot by not doing it right, and he's having to go back and fix things. And I keep having to tell him that, and then like I feel like an asshole because I keep having to tell him like, oh, we go back and fix this, we go back and fix this. Like, look, I know you're the professional, it's your job, you have all the years of experience and all that, blah 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 blah, and you don't want somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about like following you every day telling you you didn't do this right and please go back and fix it. But if you're not going to do it right the first time, like, what do you want me to do? So it's been a terrible time, extremely stressful. And I was hoping to not have to deal with that today, just coming here, live stream with you guys, and then I'll be back to that madness tomorrow. But apparently they're here and ready to work today, earlier than I was expecting. So yeah, that's fun. So I better finish this up so I can go deal with that. Anyway, long rant, and like I said, I could go into it in much more detail about just like all the huge pain in the ass the entire story has been, but that's everything for this. There's the weapons. We have all these effect parts here as well, which are just effect parts. I'm not going to do anything with those. So I was hoping this afternoon I could get the reviews recorded for these and then work on editing those and posting those over the next couple days. Well, I'm probably going to have to be working from home while they're finishing the floor, but I can't work on the reviews for these because now I got to go home and babysit the workers, make sure they're doing the right thing. So that means I can't work on the reviews for these guys until I'm back in the office, which will hopefully be Wednesday. Otherwise Thursday. So I'll have the reviews for these for you guys by the end of the week. That'll be my goal. if not the end of the week, then at least the weekend. But thank you so much. I'm sorry that it's like I'm stressing out here now at the end of the stream and I can't make it more enjoyable. But anyway, guys, that's the builds. Like I said, I'm very happy that so many more of you than I was expecting for this time, like in the morning on a Monday morning. I know it's not an ideal time, but I'm very happy that as many of you guys that are here were able to come and hang out. And hopefully a lot of people will see this later on the playback. But yeah, very impressed with these kits. Simple, pretty simple in their construction, but they look great on the outside, so I'm happy with that. But if you wanted like a more, I mean, they're at the end of the day, they're HG kits, so you can't expect that much. But if you wanted something a little bit more like complex, at least as far as HG kits go, they aren't going to be that, but they'll do look great. So Laurie asking, did I get my hands on the RG God Gundam? Not yet, but it's on the way. So I'll have that soon. I'll do a live build for that. 2 kits, 2 hours. Yeah, we started at 9, right? It's now 10:50, so less than 2 hours. Yeah, and that was talking to you guys. I mean, you can imagine if I was just popping the parts together without everything in between, would have been even faster. But yeah, I will do a live build of the RG God Gundam when I have that in, but that'll probably be in about 2 weeks or so. But anyway, that's it for today, guys. Got to run. And thank you guys so much for hanging out, for all of your support, especially now during this very stressful time in my life. I really appreciate you guys. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.